Well, I was basically going through all your cards here, and it's a little too deep, so I figured I might as well just begin the reading. This is going to be a great reading for the air signs right now. Let me just make sure I'm comfortable here with my setup and all of this. So I'm going to get right into this. It was the second card where I was like, you know what, this is deep. And for you, I'm going to just give you the questions I asked before the cards came out. And I'm just going to be very direct about it because they may apply to other situations. It may not just be a collective situation for yourself. It may be like this question is specifically about one thing, the next question is specifically about another thing. And that's what I'm realizing as I'm reading the descriptions for these cards. I am using the Osho Zen, which is fairly new to this channel, but I'm loving it, and I want to make sure I know what these cards are about, so I do read on them for you. Okay, so this is the last weekend of the year, and for you, I want to particularly say to the air signs, congratulations, you made it, and you've done very well. Let me just get a little bit of this light out of my way. This one maybe can turn, and that would be better. Perfect, thank you. So I do want to say congratulations because by the look of the cards, even it shows this year has been like a puzzle for you, and you've slowly but surely been looking for the right pieces and putting them together. And your first card, which is the card of completion, the question that went with this is what you actually see happening in your area, in your vicinity, in your energetic situation right now, however you want to put it. But the question is what you see. And you got two cards. The first one being completion, and I'm going to read this because it's really interesting for the last reading of the year. It's actually quite fitting, okay? Here are the last piece. Oh, yep. Here, the last piece of a jigsaw puzzle is being put into its place, the position of the third eye. And what that tells me right there alone is whatever you've learned this year, air signs, you've done good. Like, I just keep on feeling like you've done very well, no matter how hard it may seem, because we also got the silence card with this, which is the moon card, which means you went through a lot of ups and downs. The moon has 8 cycles in the 28-day period that it takes to reappear. And that's craziness, right? But that I feel personally like that's natural energy of a human being. We go through ups and downs, and every couple of days something does happen, so it may adjust our emotions, or we may have to adjust our emotions according to that. Okay, even in the ever-changing flow of life, and it's interesting because we're next to the flow card, technically the moon card, there are moments in which we come to a point of completion. In these moments, we are able to perceive the whole picture. The composite of a small piece. Let me just do this. The composite of all the small pieces that have occupied our attention for so long. So putting together all the little things that you've learned in 2019, and I just keep on thinking about your third eye was the final piece, okay, air signs. We can either be in despair because we don't want the situation to come to an end, or we can be grateful and accepting of the fact that life is full of endings and new beginnings. Whatever has been absorbed, your time, whatever has been absorbing your time and energy is now coming to an end. It's in completing it, you will be clearing the space for something new to begin. This is interval to celebrate both. Use this interval, to celebrate both. Sorry, air signs, you're my first reading of the day, and you're going to have to go with this, but I'm sure you understand. The end of an old and the coming of the new. So you have to take this personally, what you think this message is for you. But to be honest, I feel that it's the end of 2019. And what you're seeing right now is the completion of everything that you've dealt with in this year. Like, whether it's good or bad, you are ready, air signs, to move forward into something new. Even if it's going to be bringing certain people or situations into 2020, you're going to be going about it new because you've completed something within you. So you have found your connection to your source, and you have the source card here. I'll show you in a moment. So what you see right now is the completion of a year, is the completion of all the hard work you've put in, and I can verify that by the next card. This is the completion of overdoing, okay? Because you're coming in with the moon card as well, and the moon card is about silence. And you're seeing that silence actually can get you quite far. Not always giving your opinion, not always voicing your opinion, because that is exhausting. Letting others complete their thoughts, complete their sentences. And I believe it goes into that here. So this is the way of Zen, not to say things to their completion. This has to be understood. So you don't have to get a validation from anyone. You don't need someone else to tell you, okay, fine, it's over. Not anymore, because now you're in your third eye energy. This is something you can understand. This has come to a completion. It's time to go about something else, or go about this differently, or turn my focus to something new. Okay? This has to be understood. It is a very important methodology. Not to say everything means to give an opportunity to the listener to complete it. Not to say everything means to give an opportunity to the listener to complete it. Okay, so that's what I was picking up on that message. It is about the power of silence. And I'm still in the first card. This is about the completion, the world card that you got. You got two major arcanas, the world and the moon, in the beginning, air signs. And like, all I feel is like, congratulations, you made it. So for some of you, that also means it's been an extremely hard time this year. It's been an extremely hard year. Sorry, I just hear something chattering in the background. Okay. It's been an extremely hard year, and you're closing it off with like a restful state with the silence, okay? You're letting other people decide what they want to decide about you, and you're just leaving it. You're going to adjust it when you feel the need to, but you don't feel the need to take any more action, because to be honest, the next card is what you're not seeing. And it's exhaustion, okay? So you may not even know how much of a year this has been for you, because you may have been quite strong and held it in, which is another message I'm just picking up now for you. The moon energy is one that you know, has to be expressed usually, or it will just like condense and explode. But here you've been able to release because of the fact that you're using your higher powers, but you still have this exhausted energy within you. And I am going to read from this. You have a lot of fire energy in your cards right now. The exhaustion card is the 9 of Wands, okay? This is the portrait of one whose whole life energy has been depleted in his efforts to keep fueling the enormous and ridiculous machine of self-importance and productivity. Now, I do have to say, air signs, when I started reading this description, this is where I started recording, because I was actually getting the message that these can be about different things. And as much as I want to tie it together, I'm going to tell you, what you don't see could have to do with someone else. And the fact that this is talking about a masculine energy, someone who is very hardworking, who has been carrying the load and hanging on to a situation that is not serving them. This may not be you. This may be another person. We do know the moon card represents the feminine energy, okay? And the world card as well. So we could be dealing right now with the masculine and feminine. So what you're not seeing here, there is a situation somewhere that you may not know the whole story behind, and it may be within you. There's a person whose whole life energy has been depleted in the efforts to keep fueling the enormous and ridiculous machine of self-importance and productivity. He has been so busy keeping it all together and making sure everything runs smoothly that he has forgotten to really rest. No doubt he can't allow himself to be playful. To abandon his duty for a trip to the beach could mean the whole structure might come tumbling down. The message of this card is not just about being a workaholic, though it is about all the ways in which we set up safe but unnatural routines for ourselves, and by doing so, keep the chaotic and spontaneous away from our doors. Let me just check that again. Spontaneous. Yeah, let me see. It is about all the ways in which we set up safe but unnatural routines for ourselves, and by doing so, keep the chaotic and spontaneous away from our doors. Life isn't a business to be managed. It's a mystery to be lived. It's time to tear up the time card, break out of the factory, and take a little trip into the uncharted. Your work can flow more smoothly from a relaxed state of mind. Now, this is talking about a masculine energy, could be yourself, who was basically living, this person's connected, okay? But they're using their connection in the wrong way. They're listening to their conscious voice, but they're not living through consciousness, like guidance, right? They're just kind of listening. I'm not sure if you should do that. Double check that. So they were listening to this voice like, oh, you got to do this or don't do that or whatever. Maybe instead of going with, the consciousness from within type of energy, let's just say the more positive side of it, okay? And the problem is with that voice is that's kind of more your voice and not the real guidance, and it's sometimes your fear-based voice. And when you hear that voice and it tells you have to do something, you think you have rules to live by. So that's why you become hard, because, oh no, I have to do this, I have to do that. To be honest, I don't really need to read too much more onto this, but I'm picking up the energy of someone who hasn't been quite spontaneous in life as of recently, at least, right? Because this is about 2019, the final year. This is someone who's had a really hard year here, and it could be a masculine air signs or air sign, if that's you. This could be someone that's missing that more feminine, loving energy, because it's right next to the moon card, the goddess of the moon, right? Within man, human, right? We want to be spontaneous. It feels good to do something new and to just try something exciting. But it looks like this person has become a bit of a workaholic. See, the real man acts spontaneously. If you ask him a question, your question gets a response, not a reaction. He opens his heart to your question, exposes himself to your question, and responds to it. I guess that's kind of going along as well with people's natural reactions, or responses, we should say. And this person whoever this person is, they have like a filter. So everything they do, they actually are not just naturally responding. Like, that's what you want, is you want that natural man, not just masculine, but like human, spontaneous, sorry, to be spontaneous, whatever. I'm cutting it out. Words done. So anyhow, instead, this man is quite exhausted. And the reason is because they're too busy trying to keep up with what they think they have to keep up with, okay? So the next question, what you can change. Okay, so what you can change. And you have the source for that card. And I find it very interesting. I didn't get to read it. It is a fire element. Now let me just get it. Oh, I'm right here. It's the Ace of Wands. So that is beautiful. And what I love the most about it, that's what I love the most, is that it looked like that eyeball energy. So that third eye energy. Let's read on it. When we speak of being grounded or centered, it is this source we are talking about. When we begin to create a project, it is this source that we tune into. This card reminds us that there is a vast reservoir of energy available to us, and that we can tap into it not by thinking and planning, but by getting grounded, centered, and silent enough to be in contact with the source. So, air signs, this weekend, bringing this whole message together, and there's still more coming up. But this is a weekend and an ending of the year completion to take time and get silent. Because now we're having, this card talk about being silent, the other card talking about exhaustion, and silence and completion. It's a time to kind of just calm down and maybe get more grounded, right? Because as air signs, we can be very up in our heads even. And maybe it's time to start going into the new year with new goals, with a new vision. Like, I'm just picturing someone like just changing everything up in their to match their new self. Because you have completed something. Like, you've completed this huge year. And your reward is your awakening. And it's amazing, guys. I don't know. I'm happy about it. So, center personal, okay. Be in contact with the source. Oh, sorry. It is within each of us like a personal individual sun, giving us life and nourishment. Pure energy is available. It is ready to give us anything we need to accomplish something, and ready to welcome us back home when we want to rest. And rest is needed. We already know. So whether you are beginning something new and need inspiration right now, or you've just finished something and want to rest, go to the source. It is always waiting for you, and you don't have to step out of your house to find it. Wow. And with that moon card, that is home energy, right? So what this tells me, air signs, is if you can take some rest, do it. If you can go within, do it. If you can get centered and reconnected to your new vision for 2020, do it. It is a time for you to be calm. And planetary, you may want to look into its whole separate video. Right now we have a lot of planets in Capricorn. And for example, when you have like a lot of your signs in, let's just say, for example, I have 4 signs in Gemini. My friend has 6 signs in Capricorn. That is a very powerful energy. And right now, collectively, we have this very powerful energy. And you can do a lot of manifesting. You can, anything that maybe felt like you had to put a completion to and didn't want to, you will be able to move forward with dealing with those in different ways. Okay, you can revisit and fix things, because we're in between the two as well, the 2 eclipse energies right now. Okay, so the next one is coming up. I believe it happens in 2 weeks. Is it? It's 2 weeks away from each other, I want to say, but we'll have to double check that. Sorry, I don't want to get into all that right now because that's not my strength. Anyhow, let's just get into the last 2 questions, okay? So what you cannot change. Is that the right one? Yeah, what you can change. Let me just go back to the source for a second. With the what you can change and the source being the answer, basically what it's saying is anytime you need to get to that energy, it is within you. This is the Ace of Wands, and it's saying it's like an internal power that you can connect to, whether you need it for energy or for rest. And I was going to say that this is a great time to connect to that power when you're taking a rest, because when you're in a restful state, it's the best time to manifest. So connecting to this type of source energy while you're manifesting could be very beneficial at this time. Just saying, okay? So what you cannot change. We have the stress card. And I did clarify the last 2 cards because I was a bit confused and interested, okay? And the message I picked up for the air signs, with this being what you cannot change, is that there will be stress, okay, in life. There will be, and I think it's a beautiful way to kind of end this message in a sense, because the last 2 cards are very telling of the realities that we have to deal with in life. Stress is one of them. But the way you handle it is going to determine everything. And when I did clarify that card, we did get the 10 of Hearts. And that's about loving thyself, knowing thyself, and giving love to everyone in one way or another. And I almost feel like this is something irritating, like this picture of this rat, and we have this man painting over it, you know, not saying anything, not complaining, not spray painting over it, just totally putting it back to the blank canvas. And that might be a metaphor for some sort of techniques you can use when dealing with stress. This is also the Seven of Wands energy. It's about not putting up your defense and kind of figuring out something that's just easy, okay? So the last card, okay, air signs, this was the big one. What you can expect. Fighting. Gosh, right? We got fighting. So I'm going to get the actual, this is an air sign. I am just not 1,000% sure. I do know why this makes sense. And here we go. This is the Knight. No, it's not the Knight of water. Sorry. But that means it's the Knight of Air. And I just would love, here we go, the Knight of Clouds. I'm going to read this part first, okay? One moment it was there, another moment it was gone. One moment we are here, another moment we have gone. And for this simple moment, how much fuss we make, how much violence, ambition, struggle, conflict, anger, hatred, just for this small moment. Just waiting for the train in a waiting room on a station and creating so much fuss, fighting, hurt each other, trying to possess, trying to boss, trying to dominate, all the politics. And then the train comes and you're gone forever. So the first message I pick up with that is you're going to have to fight for your happiness. And I say that because when I clarified it, I got the Four of Diamonds, which is about the Four of Pentacle energy, at least for me. But there's two kids running around wearing police vests. So this is about protecting yourself, but this is also about using authority to get what you want, and to stand up for yourself. This is something that you can expect to come in. And, you know, it's no surprise to me because you're in a state of completion. You're in a state of calmness. You're in a state of realizing you need to rest, rejuvenate, come from within, use your internal powers to delegate through everything. And of course, conflict always comes up. It's almost like when you're manifesting, this is, I know it. I do manifesting classes and it works. Let's just say you're manifesting to increase your money, to increase your income. Often you will get either before or after the increase a huge bill. It can happen. It happens quite often because I do this often, right? You'll get a huge bill. What that's about, first of all, is a sign that you're manifesting more money. Because that's why this bill has come in. You can now afford to pay it. It's a manifestation of the fact that what comes along with more money can be higher bills or a bill that you have. And it's about how you go about it. Okay, so you got a bill. Pay it right away if you can. Pay it and say when you're paying it, what I put out returns to me threefold, fourfold, tenfold, whatever you want to say. Let's read the other side of this. The figure in this card is completely covered in armor. Only his glare of rage is visible. Now remember, this is what you can expect. Okay, so it looks like you may be, someone may be coming. And this is a masculine energy. This could be the same masculine energy who is exhausted and depleted. There could be an energy around you of someone who sees your light and sees your energy and they don't know how to handle it, or they have issues that want to burst out of them, and you happen to be an antenna welcoming them in, you know, and you're able to pick up any energies and deal with them because you're connected to source. I don't know. I'm just picking up a scenario here where it could be someone you know. There's two people here, right? It could be someone you've had legalities with. not at all does that have to be. And I'm actually looking at the Lover's card at the bottom of my other deck in front of me. You could have to stand up for something you believe in love, air signs, okay? You know, what I pick up here is if this person comes in with this fighting energy, we don't know what's playing in the back of their mind, okay? And it's interesting because here it mentions, let's read this part. In the background, we see the shadow movie that plays in this person's mind. Oh my gosh. I didn't even see that. Oh gosh, this reading is going to go long, huh? Okay, gem, or why did I say gems? Because it's the twin energy there, right? So air signs. And you could be dealing with a Gemini, or you could be dealing with someone who is fighting, like that energy of Five of Wands, fighting with themselves. You actually could also be dealing with a soulmate, like a very high level soul connection here. Because it looks as though in the background of one card we have two people fighting, but really what this card is telling me is that you guys just want to have fun. It's a masculine feminine connection here, like a very happy situation here. But you have your hearts guarded, maybe. So that's crazy. You may have had, or you may be expecting, because this is what to expect, someone coming forward with a hard temper right now. But what the temper is about is them masking deep-seated hurt. So this could be even childhood hurt. Maybe there was the law involved in their childhood and they have this anger. I just feel like that is similar to this exhaustion energy, but I really feel like now getting into this, you could be mirroring someone. I guess this reading is going to go longer. Let's see what happens. I want to see what's going on to this. So tell us about the first question, please. I love readings, and this is just too good. So I got it. Okay, so the first question, we have the Eight of Wands and what you see. So this can be you or this can be your person. But what you're seeing is a completion, just like it said, but the walking away. And the next card is the card that's the next card, like on the bottom. Someone's walking away. So this is going to be possibly connected to the first message or maybe a whole new message. Someone is walking away from something that is exhausting them. And with the whole message I've given the air signs so far, I do feel that it's because you've learned to deal with it in a certain way now, in a different way, with the moon card, with silence, with letting things run its course. You know, things are always constantly changing. There is no such thing as time. I watched a great TV show yesterday on Prime TV. I'm not finished yet, but it's about manipulating time in a sense. Like, but it's not really manipulating. It's just putting yourself back and fixing it. And I've heard this theory, and I do want to look into it more, where you can actually go and readjust what you've done or what you feel you've done that may have been a mistake. So what's going on here is someone is done with feeling exhausted is the best way to put it, okay? What this person or you or whatever, what else I'm picking up now with the Four of Cups coming in is the energy of, like, this person is so exhausted. There's almost no... See, this message is very connected, whoever this is for. And I feel that this may be your person. You know, there could have been at one point a mirroring energy, but air signs, I feel like you've come to a completion yourselves. But I'm seeing two exhausted people here. And I'm picking up that, like, there's this ninth cup right in front of you. And this is my, you know, card lately for not being able to see it. Someone is still attached to a darker situation, and it is so imperative that they face the truth and let it go. I'll try to pull out this energy right now with the Capricorn season and the Devil card, 10 of Wands, 5 of Swords, 9 of Wands, 7 of Swords. They have to let it go to get to the Sun. So let's see if I can just see who this is. It looks as though it's a masculine. So even if you're a air sign, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and a masculine, then maybe you'd know more this is for you. What this is telling me by the 2 cards that came out for a description of whoever this is, it looks like it's someone who has planted seeds or has investments in somewhere, and they're having a bit of a hard time letting it go. I feel like, you know, they've grown the investment, whatever that may be, whether it's money, monetary, or like legal, or health, love, anything, family. It looks like they've grown, right? But there's still dissatisfaction because it's not giving them what they thought it would, is what I pick up. And with the Hierophant here, it's not giving them the connection they thought they would get. So I hope that that helps you figure out who that is. And there's, you know, an opportunity here. It can be, they may feel that this person may feel like they can't give you what you're looking for, air signs, and you walked away because of this, okay? So what you can change. What can you use your source energy to change here that would benefit the air signs? Well, look what we have. Oh, wow, there's your 9 cups. So what you can change, first message I get is you can change how, it's something to do with like your mood, with ending this year, right? We're going into this new year, and you can change how you embrace it. That's what it is. And we're going into a 4. That's interesting. We're going into a 4 year, right? Let me see this. 9, 10, 11, 12 is still the 3 energy. It's about leaving this year completed. It really is. It's about realizing the benefits of everything you've received and that you've come into union with this year. This is something you can change, like to leave the year knowing, happy, joyful, expecting the best. I don't know why this is something you can change. Coming out of confusion, guaranteeing yourself success. One more card for what you can change. Coming out of a hung state where you thought you couldn't do something, you know you can, and it has to do with your attitude, okay? That's what I pick up for that. What you cannot change, which was the stress energy. You cannot change the ups and downs in life. You cannot change the fact that there will be stress, and you will have to sometimes back away and go into that peaceful state of mind, which we talked about. And what you can expect with the fighting energy. Okay, what can air signs expect here? Ooh, wow. To be honest, what I pick up with this is this has to do with someone you know. And you know them very well. And they could be family, friends, lover, anything like that. I mean, I would like to say lover here. But you know this person, like, you know, it's the 10 of Pentacles coming up. This could be twin flame. And I don't want to say that, but this is for me a twin flame card at times. This is something moving very slow. The 6 of Cups, I mean, my other card here for communication. You could possibly expect a completion to some fighting, to people having their guard up, to someone having their heart blocked, to someone always being defensive. You can expect a change there, but it's a positive change. Okay, I'm looking at the top, and that's it. You can definitely expect a change. I wanted to see what else was popping out there. Oh my gosh, okay. Yeah, you can expect a change. Someone you may have a disagreement with, and that is true. Okay, air signs, I'm sorry. I hope this happens. You know, this is for this weekend. I hope we get it over with. But it looks like you can expect some sort of aggression coming forward of some sort. Please let me know if that happens, because I'm really curious. It could be anything, but the bottom line is you are exiting this year with your third eye chakra in alignment. Okay, just stay positive. You're learning how to deal with things differently, and you're learning that you have the power from within. Okay, bye. Have a really good weekend. I will be back. I was going to say 2019, but I know I'll be back. So I'll see you again. Bye for now.